Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Cinema Review. On this week's episode, we're covering Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
If you have the ability, I highly recommend it. It's so choice.
Bueller. Anyone? Bueller.
Yeah, this one is definitely one of my favorites, so we hope you guys enjoy our coverage of this. And if you're enjoying the show, speaking of which, please leave us that 5-star rating, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you're at. Don't forget to leave that rating. And sit back, relax, and enjoy Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Vintage Cinema Review.
Where every week we review some of our favorite films from the past.
Hey, there ain't no late fees here.
Silence is golden. And be kind. Rewind.
Whoa. There, we were a little off there. Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
How's it going, man?
Yeah, very good this evening. We got a special one, like we usually do. I guess they're all special.
I mean, this is definitely one of my favorites.
I was in and out with this one.
Really?
Yeah, so I remember when this came out, or at least when I got into it, like, oh, it's such a great movie. It's so awesome. But like so many things, you get into it so many times, you just kind of lose interest in it. Yeah. Now, with that being said, this is a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
But you're saying on the Zap scale, it's not one of your timeless.
Not anymore. It wasn't.
Okay.
It was at a time, okay. And now it's no longer there.
Oh.
It's lost its luster with me, but
really?
It's still a fantastic fucking movie.
I kind of agree with both of you. To rewatch it, it's some stuff you don't find yourself as into the movie, I think, because you've seen it maybe so many times. Mm-hmm. But just the way it's written, the way it's done, still a fun movie. I actually watched it with my kids a couple of the words are kind of bad, so I was like, eeh.
I watched it with my daughter. My son watched it like maybe a year or two. I have the DVD, which is how we watched it. But I mean, this movie to me, I mean, it's still like a lot of these movies I watch. I'm like, it's it's good parts, bad, what I mean. But this one to me, I think it really held up.
It's still one of those movies that you have to pay $2.99 for on Prime, so it still has relevance. Yeah,
not for nothing, we haven't mentioned yet. What movie are we talking about?
Oh, that would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ah,
yeah.
I think for me with this movie, how it kind of fell out with me, I think I just eventually got annoyed with Ferris Bueller.
Yeah,
like he just the guy always wins. Mm-hmm. Like he just can't lose, and he just seemed cocky at sometimes.
Well, I was thinking this I was thinking this really ties into our true crime this week. If you think about like a con man,
oh my god, yeah,
this kind of like really ties in well with the Barry Minkow and just getting away with stuff, and that's kind of how he did.
I wouldn't say $584 million.
No, but
dang,
not on that level. But yeah, so Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Release date on this was June 11th, 1986. It was rated PG-13 with a running time of 103 minutes. Directed by John Hughes, who we all know. Written by John Hughes. And
yeah, he pops up a lot in the basement.
He's been in here a lot.
Yeah.
Produced by John Hughes and Tom Jacobson. The filming on this took place between September 9th, 1985 and November 22nd, 1985. So I think if we look...
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's like 2 months.
It wasn't long.
Was that the Breakfast Club was the same? Was that the same high school as this one?
The Shermer High School was the same name, and then I'm pretty sure that there were scenes that were shot. I think the scene with the Ferrari when he picks her up, when Ferris picks up Sloane, I think that was in front of the same school.
Oh, Sloane, dear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
he says that.
Budget on this movie $5 million. Box office $70.7 million.
God damn.
Yeah.
Now we see much better.
It's still good though.
It's good.
We would say the juice was worth the squeeze on that.
Yeah, it's squeezy juice.
Yeah, so juicy.
It's a close.
Ain't no 584.
No.
That's Barry Minkow money.
It's Minkow money.
Well, if you look at Breakfast Club, that was like $1 million budget, and it made 50 some million. So this movie cost more, but obviously there was a lot more shot outside of libraries. You know what I mean?
There's that. I mean, you can get away with a cheaper budget when you're really only filming one room for 95% of the movie.
And maybe it was the Ferraris, but maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I guess we'll find out.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
Facts,
Yeah,
you know
could
what
be
I mean?
interesting.
So filming on this, filmed in both Illinois and California.
Chicago.
Chicago area, yeah. So I guess that's it for those little facts. Zap, you got the cast?
I sure do. So, Ferris Bueller. We've got Matthew Broderick as Ferris Bueller. We've got Alan Ruck as Cameron Fry. Mia Sara as Sloane Peterson. Jennifer Grey as Jeannie Bueller, which was Ferris's sister. Cindy Pickett as Katie Bueller. Lyman Ward as Tom Bueller. Jeffrey Jones as Principal Ed Rooney. Edie McClurg as Grace. Charlie Sheen as a boy in the police station. Ben Stein as the economics teacher. Del Close as the English teacher. Virginia Capers as the school nurse. Richard Edson as the garage attendant. Larry Flash Jenkins as the garage attendant's co-pilot. Christy Swanson
Co-pilot.
as an economics student.
They did fly, so.
Oh, yeah. Max Perlich as an economics student. T. Scott Coffey as another economics student. Jonathan Schmock as Shaquille Mater D. Is it Shaquille or is it Shakey? I think it's Shakey. Shea McDonald's. Louis Anderson as a flower delivery man. Stephanie Blake as a singing nurse. And Dee Dee Rescher as a bus driver who picks up Ed Rooney during the credits. That's it for the cast.
That's it, yeah.
I think that's like basically everybody.
Yeah, I think that was everybody in the movie.
I think the only one
Very
that wasn't named was Ferris's dog.
Yeah, I mean.
Scruffy.
Yeah. So, Matt, you have a brief synopsis.
Ladies and gentlemen, a brief synopsis of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, starring Matthew Broderick. Ferris Bueller, larger than life, blessed with magical sense of serendipity. He's a model for all those who take themselves too seriously. A guy who knows the value of a day off. Ferris Bueller's Day Off chronicles the events in the day of a rather magical young man, Ferris Matthew Broderick. One spring day, toward the end of the senior year, Ferris gives into an overwhelming urge to cut school and head for downtown Chicago with his girl, Mia Sara, and his best friend, Alan Ruck, to see the sights, experience a day of freedom, and show that with a little ingenuity, a bit of courage, and a red Ferrari, life at 17 can be a joy. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, that was a good synopsis.
Yes, it was brief. And so that was a good one. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, like I said,
Thank you, John Hughes.
I think most people have seen this movie. I would hope. But I'm sure there's some people that haven't, I guess. But if you're into movies and you're a fan of cinema, this has got to be, one of those ones that's like a must-see, I think.
So, yeah, it starts out, we're with Ferris's parents come into the room, correct?
Yep.
And he's not feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of make a fuss about their son. He has, clammy hands and is not feeling well.
And I think for any teenager, any kid growing up in the 80s, watching that movie, you can relate, trying to get out of going to school and just making up so you can sit home and watch The Price is Right.
Absolutely.
And I remember watching Gilligan's Island, and I used to watch all those 80s sitcoms. Golden Girls would be on. I think, were they on reruns back then? I can't remember.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But so you can relate, just kind of making it up. I don't feel good,
Let's not forget that at this point, this guy he's a senior. And
right.
He's, he's only 1 month away from graduation.
And it's a beautiful day out. So weather-wise, it looks nice. They actually filmed this movie in the fall, though. So it's supposed to take place in the spring,
Despite spring being, yeah.
So it might have been a little chilly there in Chicago, maybe in the low 70s, 60s.
Yeah, I don't know, temperature-wise. I mean, it looked like a nice day. They had swimming pools and stuff.
And movie stars.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
No, so, in this movie, it kind of introduces us to, we were talking about this, and I think we brought up Ferris Bueller's before, and where he talks to
He breaks the fourth.
There we go. Thank you.
Fourth wall.
Fourth wall, thank you.
Yep.
And he starts giving us pointers on how to take the day off with your parents, how to fool them into you being sick.
Right.
And it was funny. I did like the part where he talks about having a fever.
Mm-hmm. That could end up being bad.
Yes, because they could call the doctor.
Right.
And a doctor appointment's worse than even being in school.
Being in school,
True.
right.
He's wise. I think he might have done this before.
Yes.
I would think so.
Okay.
How many times?
Well, this one made 9 times.
9 times, yeah. We find that out.
They said that was kind of a big part of this movie too, because the shirt that Cameron was wearing was a number 9 Gordie Howe.
Well, that too, and that shirt that he was wearing, I was wondering about that. That was bothering me during the movie, that he was wearing a Detroit Red Wings jersey.
In Chicago.
Despite being from Chicago.
Despite being in Chicago. And there's a reason behind that, and I guess we'll get into that, I guess, in the
that's a fun fact.
Fun facts are coming.
I mean, there's so many fun facts on this movie.
So many.
I got some fun facts that are a little in my wheelhouse when it comes to electronics.
Oh.
And I can't wait to get into that. But yeah, anyway, this kid's calling off school. I'm hoping you've seen this movie, but he's calling off school and trying to fool his parents. And he has a sister who's calling his bullshit.
Played by Jennifer Grey.
Yes.
From Sexy Dancing.
Right.
And this was pre-nose job too.
Yeah,
Yes.
she looked she was cute.
I always thought she was cute. I
yeah,
like
then
the
she
old,
did the nose job.
I like the original Princess Vespa.
Yes.
Yeah. Was this before Dirty Dancing?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to say Dirty Dancing was 87.
Okay. I was curious on that because I thought it was around the same time. I couldn't remember.
Now, I'm not finger boxing that. I'm just going off the cuff here, but I'm thinking that, yeah.
It was said by Zap, so it has to be true on the podcast.
Look, man, I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to this stuff.
So Ferris, right? He succeeds and let his parents, they go to work. They say they might be there, check on him, give him a call. Guy calls his buddy Cameron because he has no what?
He has no life. Basically, the way to make him look, he's just like a...
No, Ferris has no what? He got to call Cameron.
Oh, no car.
Yeah, because Cameron has a car.
That's right.
You can't be stuck in the house. He's there like playing by the pool. He's dressing up, dancing. And he's like, shit, I got to call Cameron.
Who is typically homesick anyway because he's a hypochondriac.
Right.
So, yeah. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to take a day off and like, oh, shit, I'm stuck at home alone
With nothing
with
to do.
no car.
Right.
What am I going to do? Watch, Price is Right all
Yeah,
day?
that's basically what you would do.
Now, that was cool for us,
Yeah.
but not for Ferris.
No.
Which Ferris explains about Cameron. He's like, the guy's so uptight. If you stuck a lump of coal up his ass in 2 weeks, you'd have a diamond.
A diamond, yeah.
So, yeah, the guy, he does nothing. So Cameron's sitting there. Ferris calls. He tells him he's dying. Ferris calls back like, Cameron, you're not dying. You're fine. Come pick me up.
Yep.
Right.
So they're with friends. I mean, you push hard enough, your friend's going to come. He's like, fine. I'll come get you.
And I had to laugh at the part with, so I looked it up afterwards because I'm a car guy too. I'm into the cars. So I was wondering what kind of car that was that
Cameron had.
that Cameron had. It was an Alfa Romeo. And
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and it wasn't really that much older. It was like a 1981 or 82 model. So we're in 85, 86 here when they're filming it. So it wasn't really a piece of shit car.
No.
You know what I mean? I thought it was like a Saab actually.
That's what I thought it was too.
When I was looking at it, I was like, is that like a Volvo or a Saab or something? And I just looked it up and it was a Alfa Romeo. So it was a nice car.
Well, you're figuring too, Cameron was loaded. The kid had a lot. I mean, so did Ferris. They all looked like they came from a pretty affluent neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they made his car seem like it was a piece of shit. I think even Ferris says that.
But wouldn't start and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Ferris's case, I mean, wouldn't he rather have a piece of shit than no shit?
No shit at all, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
Now, of course, before Cameron makes his way over, we are introduced to the principal.
Oh, yes.
We are
Mr. Rooney.
There's a quick cut scene over. Well, not too quick, but we are introduced to the principal, Ed Rooney, who is determined to expose Ferris's chronic absences.
Mm-hmm.
So
9 times.
Yeah.
9
So
times.
we have Ferris's mom ends up calling the school, and this is where Ed alerts her that he's been sick 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that was just on the spot?
That he made that number up?
It was just the way that it came out of his mouth.
It sounded good.
It just sounded good. And what's his name was like, yeah, sure, keep it.
Yeah. I mean, it worked.
John Hughes, yeah. Keep it. Sounds good.
But this is also with Mr. Rooney. I like the relationship he has with Grace, his secretary.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Grace.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on too many toes, but I'm going to give a shot.
Go ahead.
Fun fact, all of Grace's lines were ad-libbed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I did read that part. I guess when they got into the phone call with Sloane's dad at some point, those parts, yeah.
So great.
Well, yeah, that's where we're going to actually next, right into that scene where it goes to Cameron, who's disguising his voice, and Matthew Broderick is dating Mia Sarah, correct?
Right,
Playing
Sloane, yep.
Sloane, who was very, very, very cute.
Very cute girl, yeah.
Very
She's
cute.
not ugly.
No, but she didn't go anywhere after this one, really,
No,
did she?
This was it.
No, I don't know her from anything else. She was 18 at the time when they filmed this.
Was she okay? So I was thinking she was the same girl that was in that movie with Tom Cruise where he was like or there was like a demon, the unicorn. That wasn't her then.
Legend.
Oh, I don't know. That.
Yeah,
I remember
might
the movie,
be right.
but I don't.
I think that was Mia Sarah. I'm not sure, but I remember.
I'm going to say you're right. Yeah, you know what? I'm saying you're right. And if I say you're right, that means you're fucking right.
100 fucking % right.
You are
Zap
right.
said so.
Fuck yeah. I might not know shit about different chapters of bankruptcy. I don't know anything about bankruptcy, but I do know that Matt's right.
All right. Well, we have Dave looking that up because I think he seems perturbed.
Finger boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figure I'll do something here.
You know, check it out.
So keep taking us through this.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So Cameron, he calls Mr. Rooney, pretending to be Sloane's dad.
Yep.
Saying, you know, because Ferris don't want to spend a day off knowing Sloane's in school. He wants to spend some time with her. Hold on, Dave.
Real quick. So you are correct.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Legend, 1985. Ferris Bueller, Time Cop, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Remember that? 1994? Yeah. And then after that, nothing really of note.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
It ends with a Lifetime Network movie.
Bullets of Beijing.
She should have been in much more.
more.
She was more talented than them little friggin' Olsen sisters.
Bombs over Baghdad.
Yep. She was in that. Wizard of
I don't
Oz.
think I've
Witches
seen
of
that.
Oz.
Witches of Wizard of Oz.
No, the Witches of Oz.
It's the Wizard of Oz.
Let's see. The Pompatus of Love. I do remember that movie.
Do you speak
Yeah.
of the Pompatus of Love?
Looks like she was in
Quite a bit.
some foreign stuff here too.
Oh, that's probably some nudies.
But-
I was going to say mostly porn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Her and Bai Ling.
Yeah.
What does she look like today? Like I said, she's a very attractive
Very
woman.
attractive. I mean, yeah, she's good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
still.
can call that, yeah.
55, 19, or
She
she's
look-
55 years
She looks great.
She
Yes.
knows what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Short.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
She gets it in.
But yeah,
She gets it in.
outside of Time Cop,
She's sitting on $1 million.
yeah.
You might even be 500,000. I don't know. It'd be interesting. You got.
Time value of money. It was worth a lot. That money was worth a lot more back when she was 18.
Can we get her net worth? Do they have that on the interweb?
I'll check.
We're spending a lot of time on Mia Sarah.
I thought she was great at this movie.
She was good.
Yeah, I thought she
I liked her better in Legend.
Yeah.
That's a great movie too. I don't know why we don't review that.
Dude, that's classic.
That's got to get on the
That's
list.
good sci-fi
It's a
goodness.
unicorn. You can't take the horn. What's wrong with you people? But anyway, where are we at? Yeah, Sloane needs to get off school.
Yeah, I mean, if Ferris is hanging out with his buddy Cameron, he might as well get his girlfriend involved with this too.
Yeah,
Right.
because I think him hanging out with Cameron wouldn't be fun at all for him.
Yeah.
Was she an underclassman or was she a senior also?
She was a senior as well.
No, she wasn't. She was a junior.
Are you sure?
Yes, because towards the end of the movie, Ferris said, you know, it's kind of hard because he wanted to marry her, this and that. He said it's hard with me going off to college next year, and I know that she's going to be here in school, so he has to wait one more year.
Man.
Okay.
You guys can check that. That's a fact check
Man,
for
look,
everybody.
This
Either that-
man is assertive. I'm going to go with Matt on this one.
Thank you. See the assertiveness. You can just make people believe what you want them to.
Look, we're not going to believe that a VCR costs $600.
It's true facts.
Or, I mean, maybe she was going to fail.
She could fail.
She could have failed. She could be in 12th grade and just have bad grades. I'm just saying.
No, Ferris
just saying.
like the younger ladies.
Okay.
He was into her. She was a junior.
No, I bet he was into her.
She could have been a sophomore, but I'm going with junior. She was a junior.
Okay, so she's a junior, and her grandmother died.
Yes.
What it was?
Yep.
And
You're on the right track there.
And the dad calls Rooney.
Yes, the
Or
dad
actually
calls Rooney.
the secretary, and the secretary puts him through to Rooney.
Yes.
That's right, because Rooney's not falling for that one.
So Ferris called on the other line while Mr. Rooney thought that Ferris was on the line with him,
Right.
saying there was a death in the family.
Yep.
So he was kind of being a prick. He was like, you know, you come with a body. It's the new,
produce a corpse. You bring that corpse down here, we can make things out. You know,
it's a whole new policy.
Right. And then the secretary comes in. Oh, Ferris Bueller's online too.
Which happens.
Shucks.
Poor Rooney a lot, man.
Yeah.
He had a
Well, I don't
bad
feel
go with
too
this
bad.
movie.
I don't feel too bad for this guy.
No, that guy's a real douche.
In real life too.
He's a real douche.
Well, no, like going with the Breakfast Club too. They had the principal being like a real douche.
Right.
Yeah, there's a common theme here with John Hughes movies.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
kids and douche principals.
Right.
Parents just don't understand.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we find out then, I guess, that basically in his mind, it's not Ferris Bueller. It's actually really is her father calling.
It must be because Ferris is on the other
On
line.
the other line,
Yeah.
right?
How could that happen?
And he clicks back, and basically apologizes, and he's like, Roni, you know how he in his
Mhm.
voice, like, you know, I'll pick her up.
Roni? Yeah, I can't get it. It's
And
really
he's
good.
like, bring her outside by herself. And he's like, no, you know, and he's hitting him like, don't be so obvious. And he's like, no, you come with her, you know, this and that.
So yeah, they have a little friend falling out because Cam tries to get her to be out there waiting, and then Ferris thought it was too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Smacks the phone out of Cameron's hand. They have a little back and forth. Then Cameron finally, you know, like, whatever, let's go get her. But Ferris says we can't go get her in that piece of shit car, which you said is actually an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, nice Alpha. Yeah.
Crazy. But he wants his dad's what? Now go ahead. You're the car guy, Dave. So what's he looking at here?
So he's got a Ferrari. It's a Ferrari 250 GT California Spider. So there was only 104 of them which were produced.
What was it, a 60 something?
See, I don't have the actual year because they weren't real.
Yeah.
For funsies, let's just say it was 61.
Well, no, that was a reproduction, right? The one that they used in the movie. It wasn't the actual.
Right. They were all fake.
There were 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, they were 3. They were like kid cars or whatever that they, you know, replica cars.
Yep.
So yeah, basically he tells him like, we got to pick her up in this. Nobody's gonna believe that her dad
Drives this piece of shit.
Right.
Mhm.
So we got to impress upon this guy that this is a man of wealth, a man who's, old and has earned it and made it. We got to show up in a decent car, and that Ferrari is a decent car. That's a car that's suitable. It's fit for an affluent father.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to pull up to school in that to pick up my lady friend.
I would even take the kid car. I wouldn't even give a shit. I mean, I think they're cool looking.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, he goes there, picks Sloan up. Sloan runs down the steps. She tells Mr. Rooney he's a beautiful guy. He's like, thank you. Goes down, sees Ferris, who's dressed up as her father, and gives him a nice wet lickery kiss.
Making out.
That was creepy as fuck.
It was.
That was just creepy. Do you have a kiss for daddy? That was just creepy.
Which Mr. Rooney responds as,
I guess that's what it is in their family. What does he say?
or something. Yeah, I guess that's how it
they do
is
it,
in their
yeah.
family.
Now,
And
let's not forget. So we've got hypochondriac Cameron. All the while, I mean, he's sick. He's sick to his head. He's sick to himself.
Mm.
All the while, Ferris is like, dude, your car will be fine. Your car will be fine. Everything will be okay. It'll be okay. He's just talking him off the cliff the entire time.
Did you see what the license plate was on the Ferrari?
Nervous.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was to describe Cameron.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't get that Ferris the whole time had the idea of putting it in reverse to
Mhm.
take the miles off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just thinking about like, well, what's the difference between driving at 10 miles or if they went into the city and everything else as far as the mileage goes and stuff. I guess he was worried about taking it and having it damaged or whatever.
Well, yeah, they already drove it enough that the dad would notice because he
Yeah.
said he checked
Right.
the miles. So he was already in trouble. So I don't know why he wasn't chill about that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're driving around this apparent, collector's car, one of 104 made. You're going to be nervous.
Mhm.
You're definitely going to be nervous.
So yeah, these threes, they make their way, 100 miles an hour out of school, going into inner city Chicago.
Going into Chicago. Now, before we get to Chicago, can we talk for a minute about how awesome Ferris's toys are in his room? Like, that's a cool room, man.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, we didn't even get into that.
Like,
You're
he's
right.
got some cool shit. Like, okay, so for not having a car, he's got some really cool shit. Like, I don't know, the computer that he can dial into school and change his sick days.
Oh, we forgot about that. He changed the 9 to
The 2.
Down to 2. Right
right
as,
in front.
as Rooney is watching the screen. He's got
Well, then real quick in that
the
before
keyboard, the Korg. I mean, that's an incredible key. That's not a toy, man.
Well, that was actually one of the fun facts at the end. I'll just talk about it right now.
Yeah,
That
go ahead.
just that little part. Now I have a bunch on the AV stuff, on the audio stuff. That keyboard's an $8,000 keyboard
Yeah,
that he had.
yeah.
Yeah. So that they're talking about not having a car. He has the equivalent of a car in that keyboard. you know
God,
what I
yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
you also had a clarinet, which that's a couple $100 a pop.
Right.
Never took one lesson.
Nope. Simple Minds poster was cool. The Union Jack on his door.
Mm-hmm.
He had a cool setup for,
Yeah, they had a lot of
for
cool,
a
like-
17-year-old kid.
Like I was taking notice of all the band posters and stuff that he had in the background, and it was like the Damned.
Mm-hmm.
The
They were on
band
there.
we were just talking about. There was a couple other bands I saw on there, but yeah,
He-
Killing Joke. That was one of
Oh,
the
yeah,
bands.
yeah. It was apparently quite the clothes horse as well.
Clothes whore.
Huh?
Clothes horse.
Who did it with the what now?
Horse.
Or whore? Clothes.
Clothed?
Cloth?
Clothed.
Cloth whore.
You're a man of the cloth.
Clothed.
Ignacio. You're a man of the cloth.
You're so stinky.
Where are your robes? They were a stinky.
A stink.
Oh, what are you saying? Clothing.
Clothing, yes. He, in case anyone didn't notice, he changed his outfit every time. In every scene you would see him, he would have a different a different outfit on before he left the house to go to Chicago.
Mm-hmm. What was he wearing when he left?
A different shirt. He wore a different shirt every scene. Yeah,
didn't notice that.
Yep.
I just remember what he was wearing when he was Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we're in the car. We're going into Chicago, and they stop at the garage.
Yep.
Parking garage. Right?
Yeah, most people stop there.
You're not going to park a Ferrari on the street.
No. But you can't in the garage though. Cameron was afraid it could get dented. It could get smashed. Could get breathed on.
Breathed on. That's right.
Yeah. Could get breathed.
Anything could happen. Ferris is like, look at this guy. This guy's a professional.
Right.
Another fun fact while we're at it. Do you guys know what professional that guy was?
Car thief?
No.
Like in real life?
Yeah, in real life.
Wrestler.
No.
Wow.
I have no idea.
I have it. He was actually a drummer for how was the band's name?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No.
Tom Petty.
No.
Ray Parker Jr.
A well-known band?
Yeah. Back when we were kids, they were a well-known band. Shit, I had it written down somewhere. I don't
New
have
Kids
it
on the Block.
No, they had a bunch of hits though.
In the 80s.
In the 80s.
Wham.
Chicago.
I can't find it. I had it written down, but I don't have the thing where
That's
he was a drummer for Chicago in Chicago.
That was hilarious.
No, oh my gosh. Sonic Youth. He was the drummer for Sonic Youth.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
You made that up.
No, I did not. That's a fun fact.
Okay. That's wild. I didn't know that. I know Sonic Youth.
Go ahead. You guys continue talking so I can show it to you.
I know Debbie Gibson's Electric Youth.
Yeah,
that was actually
that's a good one.
That was a perfume for the young ladies. They would sell it at like those
Electric Youth.
Yeah, I remember my sister got it one year for Christmas.
Really?
It was right next to the Liz Claiborne.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was shaped like a triangle.
At a fine CVS store near you.
Yep.
Yeah, so he
They go to the garage.
Yeah, he floats that guy. What's he called? A Fifsky or something?
A Fifsky, a $5 bill.
A fin?
A Finsky.
It's
Finsky.
Yeah, here's a Finsky, $5.
So that's like local lingo. They said, right?
Is it? I've heard Finn.
Yeah.
I've never heard Finsky, but I've heard Finn.
I think they said, I was reading in the fun facts, that's like a regional term for like a $5 bill.
Sure.
A Finsky. There he is.
Richard Edson.
Richard Edson
was a drummer for Sonic Youth.
Was,
yes.
like before they got famous or
before he ingested too many drugs.
He was the original drummer for Sonic Youth.
Is he still with us?
I believe so. He did look kind of drugged up. I mean, if he's still alive, sorry for saying this. But
I'm not.
Oh,
he did look a little drugged up. He played the part very well.
It looks like he needs a hot bowl of soup.
No, he's alive.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Barely.
So yeah, they slipped the guy a Finsky.
Finsky.
And they
so here's $5. You know, please take special care of the car.
Right.
The guy's probably looking at him like, what an asshole. You got a car like this, you give me $5.
Yeah, right.
And we sure as hell see that like immediately after they walk away. We see the attendant and his coworker, a.k.a. that co-pilot, drive away in the car right out of the other side of the garage.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny that car was moving like that. When they were talking about those cars being replicas, I guess they were super slow, like shitty cars, like the replicas, performance-wise.
If I read correctly, I saw that at least one of the chassis they had used for what the chassis was an MG.
Okay, yeah.
Which is, a
small little.
That's definitely I mean, you're running on an engine that's
it's like not a motorcycle engine. Yeah,
four-cylinder.
It's counting CCs, not horsepower.
Horsepower, yeah. So it's not going to move like that.
I mean, the car still looks sharp. I mean, if you're just looking for appearance,
that's what I'm saying.
That thing driving by, you'd be like, "Damn, that's a freaking nice car."
I did hear they did use,
but that's like buying your Air Jordans at Jamesway,
right?
It's
there's one Jordan.
It's like buying a Rolex in New York City
on
the street.
One girl at work, I think it was her brother or somebody had got these Jordans and his leg was crooked and shit.
He was standing straight.
She was like, oh, he got him down at like the one market down in Lancaster. They have like
I'm thinking like Saturday's Market down in Middletown or whatever. They tore it down.
Yes,
so, like
that. It was one of them.
It was just this crap place where people would sell crap shit.
Yeah.
Just awful goods, awful wares.
Like you can get like a polo shirt, but it's like way oversized. Like everything's wrong. You know what I mean? Stuff's just fake.
No, it's
what was polo with 2 L's.
No, it was the U.S.
Exactly.
They're called U.S. Polo Association.
Polo. Wait, with two L's. What is that? Chicken in Spanish?
Is that what that is?
Now, for the younger listeners, we would call them Bobos.
Yeah.
Back when I was
Bobos.
a kid, and there was
Bobos
another
and
name for them.
Jeepers.
Jeepers.
Jeepers and Bobos.
So this car is the equivalent of like Jeep.
A Jeeper.
Yes, it's absolutely a Jeeper.
Like, yeah, if your mom went to buy your shoes in a bin,
Mm-hmm.
just looking for the size.
If your shoes were purchased without a box,
Yes.
they were likely Bobos.
Yes.
Or with no lid.
James Way
The
Plaza.
box.
I got a couple pair there.
So they're in Chicago. So what are they doing then when you get there?
So we're walking around, man. They go to see they visit the stock exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a good part. That reminds me of the Minko.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were they were like, meh, meh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, doing all the calls.
Yes.
Buy, sell, buy, sell.
Yes.
I'll give you X for Y.
What was the building they were in?
Sears Tower.
Is that what that was?
When
you're
they
looking
look
up the
down?
top? Yes.
When Cameron says he can see his
Yes.
father from up here.
Yes.
So you know the kind of shit this kid was going through.
Yeah.
Like he had some serious dad issues.
So he actually did, and he actually broke down about that. Or we start to get, to learn more and more about Cameron at the stock exchange. Like he's explained, so this is where Ferris is talking about marriage, and no, let's go get married. Let's, whatever he says to Sloan, and Cameron jumps in and he says, "No, man, you don't want to get married. Look at my parents; they're fucking miserable all the fucking time. Like, no, you don't want to do this shit." And he starts talking about his dad. So yeah, for damn sure he has some serious daddy issues, and I guess with good reason, because let's not forget he's driving around in his fucking Ferrari.
Right.
Yeah, dad can't be that bad, Cameron. Quit bitching.
So after the stock exchange, they take a short break for lunch
Oh, that was a fun lunch.
at Chez Keys.
I thought it was Chez Louis. I thought that was an L, not a Q.
So the place is spelled CHEZ space QUIS, and it is pronounced Chez Keys, which is actually just a French churchy up makeup kind of made up word for the word Shakey's, which was like a local pizzeria or chain of pizzerias.
Shakey's. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this place was pretty swanky.
Very
It was
swanky.
very, very high end Chicago. Very rich people ate there.
Including
Oh, we didn't get there yet. Hold on.
the
You talking about the
sauce.
other? Oh, go ahead.
I'm talking about the Sausage King.
Oh, there he is.
Okay.
He gets it's for rich people, including the Sausage King in
Abe
Chicago.
Fruman?
Abe Froman. So in true Ferris fashion, he doesn't have a reservation. He's just a high
No.
school kid. He shows up and he convinces the maitre d', look, man, no, I'm Abe Froman. Same trick that they used on Ed Rooney, calling from different phones. Hey, can I talk to Abe Froman? Hey, can this, that, and the other thing? And there's Ferris to answer, yeah, I'm Abe. Great. And she explains, like, yeah, he's wearing a T-shirt that looks like this and a white jacket and a pair of Bobos or whatever the hell else he's wearing.
Right.
Yeah, in the meantime, too, he said about calling the cops. And that's where they did the old switcheroo.
That's right.
Yeah, he said, go ahead and, because the maitre d' was quite snooty. Snooty?
Oh, yeah, he was-
Snotty. Snotty.
He looked the part, man. It was like.
Yeah, he was
spot
kind of
on.
playing like the, yeah, they did a lot of when, like, you get older, you just turn into an asshole
Yep.
kind of stuff. You got the principal trying to get him in trouble. This guy's trying to get him in trouble.
This guy was taking his job way too seriously.
Yep.
Anyway, I hope lunch was good, because after lunch they go to a museum.
That was a cool part.
Yeah.
I think that was, what are those called? A montage. That was a nice little 1 minute, 2 minute montage.
I think that was a part that was going to get cut.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Before they went to the museum, they went to the baseball game.
That's right.
Oh, no. We forgot Ferris sitting in the bathroom at the Chez Croix. And he's there talking to the bathroom attendant, which is an actual thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are
yeah.
things.
Yeah. And he's there, shooting the shit with this guy, telling him a little life story, washes his hands, and his dad comes out.
That's right. Yeah.
Right behind him.
Yep.
And did you catch the part with his dad? What he did, he came out of the shitter, right?
Yep.
And he does the hand sprinkle.
I don't even really wash his hands.
Yeah, he like puts him under the water, and then he adjusts his hair, and then he walks out.
Oh,
No tip.
no tip.
No tip to the attendant.
No, yeah. God.
So after lunch, that's when they go to the baseball game. Is it Ferris that catches the ball?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Ferris catches a fly ball out to the outfield.
Oh, real quick fact that you brought that up. Am I interrupting? Can I go?
Oh, go, man. We're all just
Oh.
talking here.
Yeah. And Ferris Bueller's Day Off, that actually happened on their day off. That wasn't even like really supposed to be in the movie. I guess Ferris Bueller, Cameron, and Sloan, they had the day off of filming.
They went to the game.
And they went to a game.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's actually a little fun fact.
Well, who was filming it then?
I guess like some guy, like they just, he came along with them. Maybe they're going to do some stuff at the ball game, but that was
Sure.
like an actual.
Oh,
They
so
had
it
the
was just
actual
like
day-
not in the script. They were
Yeah,
just like,
yeah. They just
I
like
gotcha.
they're like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like we're going to a ball game. And I think like whoever Hughes or whatever is like, let's go film them goofing around at the ball game. That was
Wow.
actual. I don't know I think they threw in the catching the ball thing, but that was an actual day off for them.
That's wild.
The game that we see in the movie is not the game that they were at.
Oh, I got you.
It's footage of a different game.
Yeah. Right?
That's what. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Zap's saying that the production of the flick ran during the fall, so the game was filmed in September when the Cubs played the Expos.
I have a cool little. I'm
Boomtown.
gonna take us off track just for a minute here because I don't know if you guys are even aware of this story.
love this track.
Okay, so baseball game. Did you know about? There's a guy in California. It was in L.A. that got off a murder charge.
No cops looking for murder.
Basically, because he was at a baseball game and got caught on film. So
there's his alibi.
His alibi. Curb Your Enthusiasm, the show, was recording there. So they had cameras.
Oh wow!
That were set up. And this guy, they were trying to get him for murder and this and that. And he was like, no, I was at this game, but he didn't have tickets or anything, any stubs. I don't know. I forget how the tickets went, but they had a documentary about it.
Back when they had ticket stubs, you just do your phone like, boop.
So they somehow found out that Curb Your Enthusiasm was filming there that day. And they were able to get a hold of they're like, hey, do you have the outtakes, all the extra film you took? Can we go through this film? And they went and found the guy.
That's awesome.
Clear HD shot of the guy's face. So he got off.
That's great.
Yeah.
I told you I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right place at the right time. That'd be great evidence too.
So that's how going to a baseball game,
like, shut your mouth.
Save that guy from doing prison time. But it made me think of that, talking about filming at a baseball game and all that. So little fun side story.
Even more fun side story. When you're talking about paper tickets, Matt was just talking about, nowadays you flash your phone like you don't have a stub anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm still one of those guys that insists on paper tickets.
Yeah, just have something in your hand.
My wife's like that also.
I gotta do it. I'm the same. I'm the same thing with airline tickets, and they even make. So there's a commercial out there where they make fun of people like me for that regard. Mm-hmm. Make sure you pack your snacks.
Don't be your parents or whatever.
That's it. That's it. Don't be your parents. That's right. I'm still that guy that prints my airline tickets. I'm still that guy that prints concert tickets. I just want to hold it.
It's something about that. Just having. Also for memories too. Like I have tickets in like a cigar box that I've been doing since I was like 16.
There you go.
They got a new one of those commercials where the guy stands in the front of the elevator and facing everybody, and they're like, "No, you face."
Dude, I used to do that just to get people's reactions,
just to watch them.
Yeah. So you can make people change. Actually, people, if you stood there long enough, they start turning the other way too because they think something's like, "What is this guy know something we don't know?"
Yeah.
It's very cool. Those are little fun facts.
That's right.
It's fantastic.
Cool. Look what we learned today.
That's awesome.
So after what do we got? Right, we went to lunch. We went to a baseball game. Then they go to the museum, where Ferris and Sloan are all huggy, lovey-dovey, professing their love for one another.
Another cool little thing. I don't know we missed it there when we were talking about the baseball game is when the principal's at the pizza shop. The arcade
and the scene of Ferris catching the ball is playing in the background
on the TV, and he just misses it.
He's like, "What's the score?"
Yeah,
he's like, "What? 1-0 Cubs or nothing."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Who's winning?
Who's winning?" Yeah, he's just like, "Yeah,
the Cubs." After the museum, they go to.
There we go.
They finish their day at the Von Steuben Day parade. Bunch of people.
Is that a real thing?
A lot of floats. There's the Von Steuben Day parade.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, they were actually at that parade.
It looked German themed.
Yes. I guess the Von Steuben.
Yeah. And so it's amazing. So as posing as the Sausage King of Chicago wasn't enough. Ferris jumps on a float and performs "Twist and Shout" by the Beatles.
Yes.
Like he's just flaunting it. Look, I'm playing.
Just trying to get caught. Yeah.
That's right. It's like he's just trying to get caught.
Yeah.
Then there's something, I think I read something that McCartney had a problem with that part.
Yeah, he didn't like the horns.
Was that it?
The band.
So I thought I read that somewhere. I wasn't sure.
He gave him permission to use the song. He just didn't like them changing it with just that little bit of the band playing. But like they said, it wouldn't make sense to have the band there not making noise.
I didn't tell him to do that, Paul. Yeah. Ringo, get on the line. Look what we're doing to our song.
P.S. Beatles, you're welcome for the royalties you're collecting for the countless times that movie has played. Oh, yeah. For any kind of, they took their little squeeze out of every time that movie was aired. So it's okay.
Right.
They're squeezing a lot, man.
A lot of juice.
Big money.
So who's left on them? Ringo and Paul.
That's
right?
It.
Ringo and Paul remain.
Okay. All right. Good job, guys.
God save the king.
Yeah. It started that already. Poor Queen.
Meanwhile, so while Ferris and his friends are gallivanting around Chicago,
gallivanting.
In the meantime, we got old Principal Rooney. He's decided to call Ferris's bluff. He goes over to Ferris's house.
Yeah, he stops at the crib.
He goes
brazen.
That is brazen. The recording that was on that, how he rigged that to the doorbell was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that was just ingenious. Like, that's the shit you see as a kid, and you're like, man, I wonder if I could do that.
Hello.
All that shit he did was just wild. Yeah.
Well, no, he had the computer, he had the Korg, he had everything available to do that, and he took advantage of that. Because I guess what he said, he's like, my sister got a car, I got a computer.
Got a computer, yeah.
I think he did well with what what the Lord gave to him.
Especially with Cameron, you just call the guy up. Don't pick your ass up.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So poor Rooney he's rolling around the house. So, all right. So the doorbell trick doesn't work because Rooney rings the doorbell again and he goes through the same recording. He's like, oh, okay. Something is awry. So now Rooney's, circling the house, getting caught in all kinds of nature's trappings, gets his foot stuck in the mud, loses a shoe, does whatever. And he ends up getting confronted by Ferris's sister, who also skipped class just in order to return home and confront Ferris.
Yeah, she wanted to catch Ferris.
Yeah.
Because she was tired of it. She's tired of the shit. He's always getting away with stuff.
He gets away with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for Rooney, as he's creeping around the house, she's home. She sees him. He catches her completely off guard, and she knocks him the fuck out.
Yeah, he gets a couple of Nikes to the face.
That was some Bruce Lee shit.
That was. Did you notice she wasn't wearing they were like wrestling shoes? I don't know if that was the thing when we were growing up.
Maybe if she was wearing like leg warmers.
Yeah, she was wearing leg warmers with like wrestling shoes.
Wait,
it was odd.
I see what you mean by wrestling shoes. I get it now.
Like what they would wear on a mat, like if you were like not a wrestler like Hulk Hogan or Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, it's like the soul,
high school wrestling.
It's like the sole is almost like painted on.
Yes,
versus like the thick sole you're going to see on anything else.
I remember those being like a style back in the day. Yeah,
that's what.
As was the style at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, we still have the two dudes. Sonic Youth is out there still driving around the fake Ferrari.
That's true. Let's not forget that.
And then Ferris, they're done with the old parade, and then Ferrari comes pulling in, and
looks like there wasn't a scratch.
No, great job. Those guys did a great job.
It was a great job until they get back in the car. And they find the car's mileage has gone up drastically.
But how drastic? It was only like a few hours. What, like maybe 60, 70 miles?
No, it was like 180, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Did they say?
Well, I remember one thing I remember about the mileage because I wanted to figure out about how far they were from downtown Chicago. It was about 15 miles is what I calculated from the time that he checked.
How'd you calculate that?
From the time he checked the odometer when they were leaving the city until they get back to Cameron's garage and they're trying to reverse it. It was about a 15-mile difference. So it made me think like, they're 15 miles out of downtown. I just was curious like how far a suburb in Chicago was from the downtown.
15 miles isn't bad.
No. I mean, that's a quick trip.
Yeah, well, that explains why the suburb looks so expensive because you got to pay for that closeness to the city.
Right.
You're definitely paying for that because otherwise you're an hour out at least.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're living in, where Chicago is, you might as well be living in Indiana.
Right.
To just commute back to Chicago.
Right.
So, they're on their way back. Cameron goes comatose when he finds out about the mileage.
Yep. Loses it.
Go back to his sister who calls the cops.
Yep.
And is taken to the police station.
Yep.
Where she has to call her mother.
Yep.
Mom's not happy.
No. Well, the police arrest her for filing a false report.
Okay.
And
there's no body here. Like what?
There's no body.
What are we doing here, young lady? Oh, I did like when she did call when she got on the speakerphone, or not the speakerphone. What is that called in a house? The
intercom.
Intercom.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have my dad's gun and a raging case of herpes.
Yeah.
Just in case you wanted to rape, like a rapist in the house.
Yeah.
A raging case of herpes.
Yeah, that was funny.
Not as funny as finding Jeannie hanging out and chilling out with Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, yeah.
Which was a good scene.
Awesome
good
scene.
scene.
Awesome scene.
Did you guys know, I think I told this to Dave and you, I think I told you guys, where they said Sheen stayed up for like 48 hours.
To get the look.
Yeah, drinking and partying a little bit. So when he filmed that part, he was actually up for like 2 days.
Well, even more of a fun fact, at the time, that day that he had filmed that, he was actually taking a break from filming Lucas.
Yes, which is, why haven't we done that one yet?
That's a great movie, yeah, with Corey Haim. Is that Corey Haim?
That's Corey Haim.
Yeah, Corey Haim.
Skibbity wow wow.
Corey Haim, the girl from Goonies, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
Winona Ryder is in that.
Andy.
Actually, I never said it was one of my like favorite movies growing
I
up.
loved Lucas.
Yeah. I mean, not favorite, but I really
It
enjoyed
was a
it.
good flick.
Yeah. Lucas, for anybody out there, vote on that.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the other 4 that I put on there.
I've never seen it.
Oh my God, it's a great movie.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, I don't know about now, like I said about these movies, how it would hold up, but I remember because it dealt with football and stuff. I remember loving it.
Yeah, because Charlie Sheen was the
He was like the stud quarterback.
quarterback,
Right? Wasn't he
yeah.
a quarterback or something? I don't know.
Yeah, he was. Oh no, was he receiver? I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
receiver, I believe. He was
Okay.
like
I bet Jennifer Grey was a receiver.
Right?
in Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, where were we? Oh, yes.
Charlie Sheen drugged out, about
out.
to make out with Jenny Gray.
And in the meantime, we got poor Cameron, who is frozen in a state of shock.
Not like the movie Frozen.
No.
Just,
No.
like very still.
Let it go.
Sorry.
He's just he's very much in shock as he's sitting on the diving board at his parents' pool.
See that, guys? That's radio magic. That's what we
Right.
call it in the radio world.
It happens.
That's Radio Gaga.
Yeah. So what? He falls in the damn pool.
He falls in the damn pool. Ferris wakes up. I'm sorry. Cameron wakes up in the pool. Ferris tries to save him, but really Cameron was just fine. Ferris Bueller, you're my hero.
Yeah, he played a joke on him, which
played a joke.
Ferris was like, God, finally you're having fun.
Yeah.
A whole freaking day of no school and you finally have fun.
All right. Now let's get to work here. Let's jack this car up. Let's put it in reverse, and let's get this odometer where it's supposed to be.
Which another thing, if you just had the internet at that time, none of that would ever happen. Because they're like, we know we can't go. Can we reverse these miles?
Or you would just look it up. What do you do?
Yeah, you would just look it up. But where did that even come from? I never even heard of anything like that.
Well, obviously he had a backup plan too. He talked about.
But I'm just saying, like, miles are miles. But
Yeah.
yeah, his backup plan was just to confront Dad.
No, his
No, the
backup plan was
backup
to crack the
Odometer.
Oh,
that's right. dashboard.
Roll it back.
crack the thing and just manually roll it.
But the meanwhile, while they're all talking, you hear that car running.
Yep.
I just always remember that. They're standing there talking about all this shit, and the car's just the whole time.
Until that's where Cameron wants to confront Dad when the miles aren't working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. At this point, this is where Cameron has his come to Jesus moment with himself and the struggles with his father. He's like, look, man, fuck it. I'm going to confront the guy. I'm going to own up to this. I hate this car. I hate everything this car represents. This car represents basically my father not paying attention to me. He cares more about this car, blah, blah, blah. And now he's getting real pissed. He's getting real angry. Kicks the car.
Not once,
He kicks it again.
twice.
But just like Jesus, he was betrayed on the third time.
The third time, yeah.
When he kicks the car and it falls off at a jack and it fires out of the back of the garage, breaks the glass, lands on the ground.
Which garage? This is not an average
That
garage.
is sweet.
This was a glass garage held about with like 6 or 8 cars.
It was flash. It looked more like a museum.
Yes, and it was elevated. So this, like, towards the back was like a big hill.
Drop off down
Yeah.
to the, yeah.
But this garage was this is money, man.
Something special.
This is old money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so fun fact,
Right.
when that car fell off, as we now all know, those were replicas.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When that car fell off, the roof was, much of the bodies of these cars were fiberglass.
Right.
So the roof actually split, as fiberglass will do.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were filming the car laying there, they had to put a bunch of trees,
leaves over, yeah.
brush, shrubbery.
And those leaves were painted, a lot of them, they said, because of the
Foliage.
Oh, the time of the year.
Yes.
yeah, they paint them green,
Hmm.
so it looked like spring.
Consistent with spring.
Right.
Fascinating.
We're just sitting there like spraying them with like a spray gun all day.
Probably they just probably went over them all.
That's just stupid.
Yeah. Well, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
They should have filmed during the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have saved some time and energy.
There.
Right. At least they thought of it, unlike Halloween
true.
with the
Yeah.
palm trees and
And
stuff.
trying to throw leaves places.
Right.
Well, after all of this debauchery with the car, we call it the car incident.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we finally have, Cameron's all grown up now. You know what? This is it. This is going to be the moment that he stands up to his father.
And Ferris is very happy for him.
Sure.
He's like, you're going to do it, man.
Of course. Well, okay. We're at the end of the day. We're at the end of the school day, man. We're at the end of the work day.
Oh, it's close to 6 o'clock.
It's getting close.
Yeah.
So Ferris decides to walk his girlfriend Sloan home, And as he's there with her, he realizes, hey, man, I got to get home. I got to beat my parents home. They're going to come home and, probably want to see me. I was sick all day.
Right.
Because you have to be in bed if you tell your parents you're sick when they get home.
That's right. You should be in bed unless you have some magical miracle cure, which does not happen.
Unless you're on the couch watching like a rerun.
Right.
Then you're okay there too.
So as he's racing home through the neighborhood, he's nearly hit by his sister Jeannie, who's actually driving their mother home, both who are returning from the police station because her mother had to come to get her from the fake police report.
And she's not happy.
No, she's not happy.
Go ahead.
No, go.
No, I just said she sees Ferris right in front. They both lock eyes and game's on.
Fortunately for Ferris, though, his mother doesn't see him as she's sitting in the passenger side.
It's funny how there you go again. Gets away with everything, Dave. This guy's just magic.
He is.
In sunglasses.
See, can you see why I got turned off to this movie after seeing it so many times?
Yeah.
He just got...
You would have liked to seen him get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time I would watch this, I would hope for a different ending. But for some reason, the ending was always the same.
His sister should have hit him with the car.
Yeah. That's in a cutscene.
That would have been a cool ending. Not to kill him.
Oh.
No, just hurt him.
Just hurt him real bad. And he would like be there and they're like, ha, I caught you. Like he's concussed.
Concussed.
Ambulance comes, takes him to the hospital. That would have been cool.
Apply some CPR.
Yeah.
So they race home.
Yes.
Ferris is running through the neighborhood, eating barbecue. No, he's running through neighborhoods, running through yard to yard to yard.
Dinner's ready.
He's taking the shortcuts while she has to drive on the roads.
He does stop, though. Did you guys notice
The
that?
bikini girls, yeah.
There's two girls sunbathing. And he stops.
Introduce
Hello,
himself.
I'm Ferris Bueller. How you doing?
Always time for that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So Ferris makes it home first. But Rooney is still at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Rooney catches him outside. Rooney stops him from getting in. He finds so Ferris is looking for the key or whatever. Nope. Rooney found it. Rooney got it. Rooney's stopping him. His sister and mom get home. His sister, Jeannie, takes pity on him. And she allows him to come inside the house.
Right.
While she sticks the dog on Rooney.
And that was due to a brief speech from the drug overloaded Charlie Sheen, where she was saying, why are you so mad at him just because he gets away with everything?
Well, I thought the reason what I took away from that scene there is that when she was listening through the door or at the door and he said, I'm going to have you do another year at school, and maybe his sister's a junior and she didn't want him back in high school for another year.
Little
and
change
that's
of
why
heart.
she kind of well, I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
I'd rather him just graduate. So that's what I kind of took out of that.
That makes sense.
But I don't know.
Oh.
Possible,
Right.
I guess.
No, it's, or maybe she just was like, look, man, I can't spend my life hating you.
Hating you, yeah.
It's been too long, too much energy.
I got to move
Right.
on. And besides, I got the car.
Right.
So
The Fiero.
I got to move. Fiero.
We didn't mention that. Her Fiero.
You mentioned kit cars before. I'm sorry, we had been talking about kit cars. The Fiero was a body, or at least a chassis, that they had used for Lamborghini Countach kit cars.
And I've seen those and Ferraris. Yeah.
I haven't seen the Ferraris.
Mm-hmm. It's miniature, that it's smaller.
Sure.
But it's definitely has the look. I mean, you can tell it's fake, but I mean it's a smaller. They build it out as much as they can, I guess.
Do you guys know the license plate on Jeannie's Fiero?
They all had license plates that were
that meant something.
Yes, but did you know what that one was?
On whose? Genie's?
On Jeannie's, on the Fiero. It was TBC, short for
The Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast
Bingo.
Club.
Bingo Boingo.
That wasn't the only one. Yeah.
Nope, that was not.
Bingo Bongo.
Yep.
Wasn't that a band? Oh, it's Oingo
Boingo.
Boingo Boingo.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Party.
Yeah.
All right, back to
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Where's Ferris at?
So let's see what happened. Oh yeah, the Rottweiler got sicked on Rooney, and Ferris rushes into his bedroom, rushes into the house, rushes up to the same place, and has to act in the same condition he was in when his parents had left him that morning.
Knocks over his little setup of the fake Rolly guy.
The fake Rolly guy, the mannequin, the Dahmer mannequin.
Dahmer.
The Dahmer mannequin that he had stolen and slept with.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So yeah, just in time, his parents get home.
Coming up the steps.
And they find him where they believe he had been the whole day.
But right before they opened the door, what was going on?
It was still snoring and doing
Yes.
shit. Yeah.
He had the fake snore going.
Oh, that's right. What did he throw at?
Like
The baseball.
Or was it a baseball? Yeah.
Baseball.
The baseball he had caught at the game.
Earlier,
Yep.
right.
Boomtown.
Ferris.
Everything's coming up Bueller.
Oh my goodness.
Good for you, Bueller.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, yeah, his parents check on him. He's feeling okay, feeling a lot better. He's like, "Mommy," or something.
Yeah.
Like, he's
So
like,
that was near the
"Mum,
beginning.
mum."
Yeah. In the very beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah, Ferris is in bed and everything's good. Parents are happy. His sister's cool with him.
And then the principal gets on the bus at the very end.
Yes, it goes to that.
And it's
scene.
like basically the walk of shame, and all the students are staring at him, and the real nerdy girl with the glasses is back there. She's like, "Do you want a gummy bear? They're warm. They've been in my pocket all day." Did you watch it the whole way through all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this and that.
Then he like takes it and throws it at some kid in the bus, and she's like, "I bet you never smelled a real bus before."
Yeah. And the kid has the one kid sitting next to him has a Save Ferris or something on his book, like a book cover or something like that.
Yeah.
Say Ferris.
Yeah.
Which
So,
real quick on that, have you ever been on a field trip lately, like with your kids, or
not
where you
got to
like
while.
sit on the bus?
I mean, I have been in the past. I'd say probably 5-6 years.
It has like
it's
an
been.
old like vinyl sweat smell
Yes.
to it.
Are the
It's
buses
just-
still the same?
Pretty
yes,
much.
pretty much. Still got that like one weird hump seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So they
Still
don't-
the same. You can't put the you got to like do the squeeze for the windows.
You still got to do a squeeze for the windows. There's still no seatbelts on buses, right?
Nope, no
Really?
seatbelts.
No.
It's amazing to me.
But there is
Don't listen. Everyone, be clear. I don't give a good goddamn if you do or don't wear a seatbelt. I don't give a shit. You want to take your life into your own hands? Great, have at it. Hey, fuck it. Don't wear a helmet while you're riding a motorcycle either. What do I give a shit? But it is amazing. It is amazing that in a passenger vehicle, call it a front seat and back seat vehicle, hell, even a third seat, the concept of car seats, and your kid's got to be in a car seat until it's this age or until it's this big or blah, blah, and blah. And everybody's got to wear a goddamn, seatbelt. But not on a school bus?
Yeah.
Not on a school bus? Like, why not that one?
where all the kids are.
I know, where it's nothing but kids.
You're in charge of 60 of our children just getting off school from ages kindergarten to 8th grade.
And it's not even seatbelts optional. There are no goddamn
no.
belts.
Could it be maybe because if there are no wrecking, they have to get them out?
because the back escape
I
that we
don't
might have
know.
done like once a year.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. I always often thought about that with seatbelts. Why there isn't any?
Look, I don't know, and I'm sure that there is a reason. I'm sure that there is a reason.
Yeah, still no seatbelts.
I just don't know it. I don't have kids, so I don't know why there's no fucking
Same
seatbelts on the
windows.
school bus.
Right.
But what is in a school bus that we never had while we were growing up? Do you guys know what that is?
What, in new ones?
In any school bus now,
Cameras.
camera galore.
Cameras,
There's like 4 or 5 of them motherfuckers in there.
Dang.
There's like 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and like one that like middle looking one.
You're going to be all ratchet news from the school bus.
Mm.
Yeah, right.
Damn.
Kids always acting up and shit.
Are they,
Right.
They won't listen.
Wait, do they make TikTok videos on there now?
Probably.
Probably
Let's
do.
see, let me get that footage.
Right.
I remember when I rode the bus, we all, of course, rode the bus at some point. I would ask at least once a week, hey, can I get out the emergency exit? Just, could I please open the
Just to
back
do
door?
it.
Just once. Could I please go out the back? No, goddammit, no. But I would ask. I just kept asking over and over, just hoping to break that bus driver and have her finally say, okay,
Get out
fine.
the back.
Just go for it. Yeah,
What about last day of school? Can I do it? No.
that's one that you do it.
Yeah.
So I guess it's pretty much the walkthrough on the movie. You guys got some fun facts.
Well, did we get to the end? The
No.
post?
Oh,
No,
that's
no, no.
right. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Rooney's on the bus and all that, and then
The credits roll.
and then they come back.
There's
And then
Ferris
Bueller's there
in a
again.
robe,
Yeah,
You're still here?
yeah. What are you doing? You still here? It's over.
which that was a big thing when that happened in the theater.
Mhm.
That was like huge to people. Now you got to wait like 30 minutes after a movie to see what the hell's coming up on the next movie.
We've talked about this before, and I don't understand how the Screen Actors Guild works, but everybody and their fucking mother is listed in the credits of a movie anymore.
Takes forever. Yeah.
From the landscapers that were blowing the leaves off of the ground of the studio, to the people who made the lunch, to the this, that, and the other person. Like, god damn, everybody is listed. Yeah, well, I get it that it takes a lot of people to make a movie, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of ancillary people in there.
It is.
They all work though.
Yeah.
They
True.
got a good union.
I'm not going to take it away from them. I'm not. The only thing, I'm sure they're working, and I'm sure they got paid. But damn, do I got to sit through the credits to see who was working?
Yeah. I get what you're saying on that.
Nah,
Well, now on TV though, they speed them up, which is very nice. I find that like
Yeah,
soothing.
to pushes it through. So
yeah,
you
it's
get
like
to the next
whoop,
one.
and the next one's already do.
Yeah,
great.
but you do feel obligated now, like you said, to stay just in case you miss something at the very, very end.
Because then people will talk about it and be like, shit, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. So yeah, fun facts on this movie.
Fun facts.
Who wants to start us off?
I think so there are often times in these reviews where we address who coulda, woulda, shoulda
Right.
been in these roles.
People love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the greatest.
So for Ferris, and from what I've read, allegedly,
I'm no scientist.
I'm no scientist, but allegedly, Anthony Michael Hall was offered the role of Ferris, but he had to decline it as he was busy with other stuff at the time.
Right.
Other actors considered to play Ferris included, but were not limited to, Jim Carrey, John Cusack, Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise, Michael J. Fox.
All correct.
Any others?
No. It's
No.
ones that I saw.
Oh,
or I read.
I'm sorry. There was one that did not make this list that I found at a different source. Some kind of wonderful Eric Stoltz. Eric Stoltz.
Oh. Yeah, Molly Ringwald also wanted to play Sloane, but she was not cast.
In fact, she
Yes.
was turned down by Hughes, who'd said the part wasn't big enough for her.
For her, yeah, because and
I don't get
that girl, the girl that played Sloane, I think she tried out for Breakfast Club, maybe, and then he remembered her for this.
Maybe.
I think I have to read through my.
I know she
fun
tried
facts
out
on
for
that, but
Legend.
yeah,
She won that
she
one.
was in that.
Awesome.
Legend was before this.
Yes.
Yeah.
85. So I'm a big AV guy. I love audio video equipment and stuff like that. We talked much about his room in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so we talked about the keyboard, which is a little out of my wheelhouse. I don't deal with that stuff, but I'm into the like home theater stuff and stereo stuff. So his equipment rack in this movie, it was all Carver brand, and Audio Source was the EQ. So Carver's like a very high-end brand.
Like
AV
not a lot of
equipment.
people had that in their houses.
No. So for instance, he had three components that made up the audio side of things on the amplification and processing side. The Carver Power Amp, 1985 price is around $550. It was a 200-watt a channel amp. That's just a power amp. The Carver DTL 100 CD player retailed for about $650 back then. And the Carver receiver, which is basically the processor, it was a Carver receiver, the 2000 model, was $1,595
Back then?
Yes.
God damn.
So
A lot of money.
not only does that Carver receiver have its own amplification, he could have just used that. A lot of people, when they really want to ball out, they'll get that external power amp like he did,
Sure.
and you'll use that receiver just to process the audio. He also had the Audio Source EQ and Spectrum Analyzer. That was $430. That's just so he can kind of adjust
that
all the
EQ was nice.
It was amazing.
The speakers he had were Bose 901 speakers. Now, Bose in the AV world is kind of a bad word. Like, we're not big fans of Bose
Really?
anymore, just because Bose is kind of, if you buy like some of these Bose systems,
Did they get to like the Sam's Club of?
well, Bose has a nice sound and everything, but it's just prepackaged,
Yeah.
put together. Everything's there for you. As people that are audiophiles like to build their equipment like piece by piece.
Sure. And Bose is that all-in thing. You and I had conversations
We
about
had
that,
conversation, right.
that clicker.
Right.
That it's still to this day can't get to work on that fucking Bose thing.
Right.
We'll talk later.
So Bose, like I said, but Bose 901 speakers are an exception. So that's a one piece of Bose history as far as speakers go that are like kind of sought after. So he had a set of Bose 901 speakers. They were produced for 48 years. These speakers were that good. So 2016, they ended the run. They had an external EQ that you had to use to balance. It was 9 full range speakers built inside that cabinet of speakers, and they're around $1,400 a pair in 2016. They're around $800 a pair back in the late 70s. So I'm gonna guess somewhere in the middle, probably in the mid 80s. They were probably around.
Call it $1,000.
Yeah, say $1,000. But for a kid being that age, roughly, $3,000, whatever, over $3,000 in audio equipment is crazy.
But look at the house he was in, though. I think the AV people that did the movie were like, we have to make it kind of realistic too.
So that's baller stuff. And at that kind of price, you're looking at like $6,000 to $7,000 in today's bucks.
Right.
This again is a high school kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they made it like equivalent to where he grew up. I think they were like, if you're going to get something, you're going to get the best.
Most of the kids, like when we were in high school, you had an Iowa, like a little shelf system.
You're
You remember
lucky
this?
if you had a boom box.
Right.
Was that the AIW?
with detachable speakers?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The AIW.
AIW,
That might have been
yeah.
right out of high school, but you had those little, like you know Curtis Mathis.
No, we go to like the farm
You know what
show.
I mean? Something like that.
Kicker was big back then.
Yeah, kicker.
You get like 212s, pyramid amps. Get the gold. Get a good pyramid gold on there.
You need monster cables.
But this guy's, you know, this equipment's like you would buy if you were like a professional, like in your, you know, a guy that's already made, or girl that's already made some money in life. You know what I mean? You had a little expendable income.
Now we see why the production budget was so expensive.
Right.
It was so high.
Yeah. So that stuff I'll come back to. I have another fun fact I want to get into, but I just wanted to tell you about the equipment in the room.
That's
and just kind
awesome.
of give you an idea of what kind of money we were looking at.
That's insane. But look at that attention to detail. But of course, you're gonna be drawn to that immediately.
I noticed right away when I saw the voltage meters on. I was like, "What kind of amp is that?" And I'm into that stuff.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you what, if you're into that stuff and audio equipment and movies, one of the most expensive systems you'll ever see in a movie is in The Departed with, I don't know if you ever saw The Departed with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
There's a whole wall of Macintosh.
Marky Mark is in that movie.
Marky Mark,
That's
I
right.
believe, is in it.
Yep.
There's a whole wall of Macintosh audio,
It's supposed
give
to be
or take.
like Nicholson's house or something, or
It was his, I think it was his apartment or
okay,
whatever.
yeah.
And Leo's in there walking around, and people that are audiophiles took notice right away. The Macintosh, you'll know it when you see it if you know what it is.
Because
So
it's just the holy grail of audio equipment.
it's the ultimate, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it
Huh.
has this green light that it puts off. Yeah,
All right. I will pay closer attention.
right.
Because it's just cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you obviously know all there is to know about this stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just curious to see it. Like, wow, okay, that's some cool shit.
Yeah, I'll show you when we're done here.
Let's check that out.
Huh.
Any quick fun facts?
Fun fact, Cameron, played by Alan Ruck, was 29 years old at the time.
Yes, I read that.
Yes.
29.
Well, you could tell he had a really bad shape. Like, it looked like he had what's that called? A morning shadow.
You know, I would have never guessed, though, that he was 29, to be honest with you. I would have thought like 24, 25, maybe.
He had a baby face for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe a bad case of the Benjamin Button. But either way, so in a coincidental twist, as Charlie Sheen was in this movie, the role of Cameron actually had been offered to Charlie's brother, Emilio Estevez, who turned it down.
Wow.
I did read a fun fact on Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey, which I didn't know. They were actually engaged before the movie's release.
What?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, they were an actual couple.
And the mother and father got married in real life after the movie.
Really?
Yeah,
they
the
were
real
married.
life mom and dad. Ferris's
Yeah.
mom and dad actually got married.
Did they
had
stay married?
Till 92, I think.
Yep. Yeah. No, it didn't end happily.
No.
Oh no.
Nothing in the movie world.
Very rarely does, yeah.
It sounded like it ended as happily as the one season of the Ferris Bueller TV series that ran in 1990.
I vaguely
Who was that
remember
starring?
Jennifer Aniston was in that.
That's what I'm saying. I knew, like, I read something on that too, and I knew it had like kind of like a big name girl actress, but I don't think the kid was very.
I remember, I can kind of picture the kid as I remember this. We would have been like 9th grade when this came out.
Yep. Now, there was another show that was, so when Fox became its own network, now we all remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, there were only 3 major networks plus public television. You had ABC, NBC, CBS, and then public television.
Right.
Like, that was it for the majors. Fox, again, not things like Fox News or Fox Sports, I'm just talking Fox, the actual television network. That is a new development that happened during our lifetime.
It was in the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
that's the Simpsons and all that.
correct. And when that channel first started out, they've got to have their own shows. Whatever, something, like every channel has its own shows. This had the same thing. There was a show on there that was like a mirror of, or a doppelganger to Ferris Bueller, and it was called Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Yes.
That was a good
Remember that show?
Yep.
Yeah.
That I'm telling you, like, I watched that show as, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. Yeah, that's Ferris Bueller, man. You just took that whole thing. You just carbon copied Ferris Bueller and made a TV show out of it.
Basically, yeah. Took it there into a TV show.
Another, John Hughes at that time, and Pretty in Pink was out in 1986, and Ferris Bueller, they both grossed $110 million that year.
So he was making some money.
He was getting so
Dang.
much juice.
Yeah.
Some other Ben Stein, I liked his. He was a cool little character in that movie.
He was awesome in that
They
movie.
had the MTV show. You guys remember that?
Win Ben Stein's Money.
Yeah,
Yes.
Win Ben Stein.
He's actually a pretty smart guy in real life. Like, I don't know what he does
Well, I think
like a physicist or something. Like he's very smart, dude.
So Ben Stein was do you already know this?
Well, go ahead. You can tell it.
So way back when, he was a speechwriter for Nixon. That is former President Richard Nixon. So
he's not a crook.
He's not a crook. How he got this role in this movie was basically like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like he knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy who somehow, some way, it just made its way back to John Hughes. And as chance would have it, him and John Hughes were like the only 2 Republicans hanging around in the Hollywood scene at the time. So it was like, okay, cool. Like we get along. We can talk about things. We share common beliefs. So he got the part.
And his part was completely just improv too.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that part, I thought he was like at the time too teaching classes or something. And,
Sure, economics. Who knows?
It might have been something like that.
Economics.
And he told him, basically just do your thing. So he basically taught it like a real class. So that stuff he was spewing in there was actually just kind of coming off the top of his head, or part of what he would normally be teaching in class.
Sure.
So yeah.
But they did say he was making like the classroom crack up, so they kind of filmed a lot of his scenes just by himself.
That's awesome.
Because the class couldn't like keep their mouth. They just kept on laughing. And who was the one girl in his class that he called upon where she said about Bueller passing out at the 31 Flavors? Oh, damn. She was in a couple other movies. She was a big actress for a while there.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned her. I certainly mentioned her in the
The
beginning.
girl in class.
Her name is
Swanson?
Christy Swanson.
Yes.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Swami Swanson.
Was she Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No.
Oh, it's Samsonite. No. Christy Swanson. Christy Swanson.
Was she Buffy the Vampire Slayer or no?
I can't speak to
I
that.
think so.
Okay.
I think she was. You are correct in that one.
I know nothing about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And what another? Let me think. Oh, I don't know. And there's a couple like stuff that people can look at and check out.
Yeah,
on the interweb.
So back to I was talking about his bedroom and all that. So there were 2 artists that they do a thing. Now this is back in 2016 when this was going on, but it's called Ferris Fest. So these 2 artists decided to recreate his room.
Okay.
Down to every little picture, every little piece of equipment and stuff. So a lot of the things they had to, track down at thrift stores, used artistic skill to kind of recreate.
Sure.
A lot of the posters had to be recreated. The electronics, back to what I was talking about, when you buy high-end AV equipment and stuff like that, it holds its value, kind of like a vintage car,
Sure.
car, this and that. So to recreate that, they had to go on eBay and buy all this equipment.
Sure.
A lot of it costs as much as it does today. So
Wow.
they ended up, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I think it said in there in the article somewhere, I think they dropped like $2,000 or $3,000 in today's money on this used equipment from the 80s. Like basically there were the 4 pieces that they had to track down. And they basically found it on like eBay sites, on auction sites. I don't even know if the stuff worked. They just had it
Just
for
to
the
make it,
aesthetics, just to have it in the room.
That's crazy.
But all the posters and all that stuff. But they set it up in a hotel room. And if you look at inside, I'm showing these guys pictures here. That's like the recreation of the room.
Dahmer.
Yeah, down to everything. The posters and all that.
Even did like
So
the
that's
drawers.
That's from the movie, but
Same computer.
yeah. But the first picture that I was showing you guys there is the actual recreation.
That's awesome. They did a
Yeah.
bang up job.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think they did.
What
But
kind of carpeting is that? Is it like a shag or what is that?
Come on,
One of
man.
those
That's just a
area
little,
rugs.
little area rug.
Oh,
Throw a
Okay,
rug for the
I'm looking at an odd angle.
oak
like
strip
this.
floors.
mm-hmm.
Boop.
There's the Fender amp. You got the Simple Minds, the poster, and all that stuff. The Union Jack flag. So all that stuff had to be tracked down and recreated. But another fun fact on this.
There's a fun fact.
Yeah, it is a fun fact. One other, I don't know. This is a silly little fact, and it's could have changed over the years. Richard Roper and Dan Quayle, this is named as their favorite movie at the time when they were asked. Could have changed.
Dan
by now.
Quayle.
Yeah.
The vice president
Yeah.
of the United States.
Yep. At the time, yeah.
Was it under Bushy Sr.? Is Dan Quayle still alive?
He's definitely still alive.
Wasn't he like 27 when he was vice president?
He was a
He
young
was
vice
young. He
president.
was very young.
Yeah.
So let's think of how far we've come in politics. So Dan Quayle became a laughingstock because he misspelled potato. He ended up spelling it with an E at the end because tomato is spelled very similarly.
Yeah.
So he just made that one little error, and it crushed him in the media. He was just crushed, like jokes everywhere, like you can't spell shit. But we've got Joe Biden now, so that's okay.
Right.
That's fine.
I guess it's when it's convenient. I don't know.
Hey, man, what do I know?
This is CNN.
Crossfire.
So you remember the part about the girl on the phone? She was like a freshman in the beginning of the movie. She was on a payphone talking to Ferris in school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was originally going to be that Christy Swanson. She was going to do that part.
She should have.
Yeah. But I think that's too because Christy Swanson scenes were filmed in L.A. and this girl's scenes were filmed in Chicago.
And Christy Swanson is the one who said she'd seen him the other night at 31 Flavors.
In the school, in the classroom.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I guess the Ben Stein stuff must have been shot in L.A.
Oh.
And then the other stuff, the school scenes and all that were shot, or that one in the hallway where the girl was on the payphone was shot in Chicago at that Shermer school, the same one they used for Breakfast Club, I'm assuming. Yeah. So what else you guys got?
A couple more quick facts, and I think I'll be done. The script was written in 6 days. His pitch to the people was, I have an idea about this kid who calls off or takes a day off from school. And they're like, go with it. And
I mean, he was movie gold.
yeah.
He didn't make bad movies.
Yeah, so they were probably like, look, you're making all this stuff. It's just, it's just making money. So
Go
let's just
for it.
make more money.
I got one that's going to blow your mind if this is true. Now, this is a legend, and this is actually off of, off the internet, off a website I get a lot of facts from. John Candy auditioned for the role of Cameron Fry.
What? How old was he? He had to be old.
62
Yeah,
years.
like
no, he
damn
died.
old.
When he died, he was only like 40-something.
Yeah, they turned him down. They felt he was too old for the part.
Yeah,
That
and
shit.
30-ish.
Too big.
Yeah, I mean, it just would have made.
He always looked like an old dude.
But you know how you have like that jolly, chubby friend? Like that's, they probably, like some of those movies you want to cast, like.
And I would have gotten the guy that was Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, who was also
Oh yes,
on the basketball team in Teen Wolf.
Yeah, that guy was great.
Fantastic part. in Teen Wolf.
Francis.
Win in the end.
And Paul Gleason for Rooney.
Jackie Gleason.
So he was the principal from Breakfast Club.
He was offered
was
the
considered.
role. Or was considered.
Considered for it, yeah.
That would have been too typecasty.
Yep.
Hey, it's that actor. He's a principal again. Hey, all right.
And our boy Alan Ruck, I don't know if we covered this in Breakfast Club, but I guess he auditioned for Bender. So
I did not know that.
yeah, he remembered. That's the guy I was thinking about. I was thinking earlier of the girl for Sloane, but he remembered Ruck from Breakfast Club auditions and thought of him for this movie.
Now, I know Ruck had a bad run after this.
Mm-hmm.
That is to say, no run at all. Like
he's on a show now, like a big one, isn't he?
He's currently on the HBO show. Oh God, I watch it. Begins with an E.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's
Everybody
all gray.
Loves Raymond.
He's gray.
He's
all gray now, and
yeah, he's all gray. He's whatever. Oh my God,
I know.
Yeah,
I know the show. I know we watch it because I've seen him in it, and I can't
starts out
think.
with the piano theme in the beginning.
Yeah, it's on HBO. You said?
Yeah, they own a media empire. He's like basically the
he's the
Rupert,
brother.
He's the Rupert. So
Enchanted.
There's the main
Enchanted.
guy. The main guy is basically the Rupert Murdoch of the world, and his son is this, and
they own like 3 broadcasting companies.
Yeah,
a conglomerate.
So it's not,
like
I keep wanting to say Entourage. It's not that. It is
Estranged.
No. Anyway,
God, what is it called?
Anyway,
it's a great show.
Well,
so there was a point at which I was about to say Rupert Grint.
Rupert Ruck.
Rupert Grint was Weasley from Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Weasley. So anyway, Ruck, after this movie, like he didn't do shit for a long time. He did this movie and he's like, all right, great. My career's going to take off. I'm going to get married. I'm going to start a family. Awesome. I'm going to move out to LA. Everything's going to be fucking great.
Succession.
Thank you. It wasn't with an
Succession.
E. It was Succession. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. So they move out to Ruck and his family move out to LA. He can't land a job. He can't get an acting job. So he ends up working at wherever the hell he was working at, like, I don't know, working on a dock someplace or working at a retail store or working in like the back room someplace. And, people he was making minimum wage and shit. Mm-hmm. And so his coworkers would see him and say, dude, you look like that guy from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
You look like Cameron. You look like, and he would, no, I get that all the time, man. I get that all the time. No, it's not me. That's not me. But yeah, I get that all the time.
Own it, Ruck.
It's embarrassing. And he never did. And so now obviously, yes, he has since done and had roles later, but there was a good number of years he wasn't doing shit.
Wasn't doing anything. Yeah.
How did I forget Succession?
Yeah, Succession. I seen him in something else though, because I know we've never watched that, but he's been in something else as well.
Yeah, he's like a sitcom on TV.
No, this is like a serious type role, and he's.
Oh, he was in that one radio show, Boston.
No. This is recent. Like would have been within the past 3-4 years. But so did you know this movie had like a whole nother hour of content that was filmed and written and all that?
Really?
Yeah. So there was a whole backstory with that Charlie Sheen character. So he was going to be like a big integral part of the movie.
Okay.
I guess he would have been one of Ferris's friends that I guess he did wrong.
Spin City.
Thank you. Spin City.
Yeah,
Not Boston.
That's the one you're talking about.
I was going to say Boston Legal. No, Spin City. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had a character name. It was Garth Wolbeck. That was his actual character name in the script. And
Garth what?
Wolbeck.
Wolbeck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Garth Wolbeck.
And if you listen to the family that Ferris's mom was showing the house to, they kept referencing she was trying to close the deal and show this house. That was his family, his parents. And there was a whole thing tied around that whole story and them actually knowing the family.
They should have done a spinoff.
And also, did you know Ferris and Jeannie were supposed to have 2 younger siblings?
Did not know that.
Yeah, a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old, I believe they were. And if you look throughout the movie, there's pictures of them up. There's kids' drawings on the refrigerator.
It's amazing.
So it was all stuff that they had it written in the script, but they were like, yeah, we're basically not going to, I don't know if we're going to cut it for time or we're just not going to include it in the story.
But they never cut out the subtle details
the
of little kids' drawings being on a thing.
It's already there.
Right.
Mind blowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
Speaking of blowing, there was a point in this movie, in one of those cutscenes where, hey, who knows? Next year I'll be up in space.
Yes, they took that out.
They took that out because not but months after they had done the filming on this, the Challenger blows up, and they felt it was probably
too much,
too soon, too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
So Ruck made about $40,000 for this role. That's about what he made.
And he blew it all on stereo equipment.
Yes, probably did.
No, so
moving out to LA.
That's what he did.
It's good pay.
He bought he bought himself a wife and kids and moved out to LA.
So on Entertainment Weekly's 50 Best High School Movies list, this is ranked at number 10. That came out in 2006.
Good job, Bueller.
Yeah. And we talked about the license plates. All the abbreviations were from titles of Hughes movies. It had VCTN on that was on Katie's car, Surfer Vacation. Jeannie's was, like you said, TBC. Tom's Audi he had M Mom for Mr. Mom.
Oh, Mr. Mom. I didn't know that's a John Hughes movie?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Rooney's
Cool movie.
Rooney's
Classic.
Rooney's little K car. Is that what they were called? His little Aries K.
It was an Aries K, a Dodge Aries K.
Was 4FBDO for Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And the only exception, obviously, is the Ferrari, which is Nervous.
Nervous.
Ferris Bueller is married to Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes.
That's true.
Still. Yep.
Still. And one other thing that happened after this movie, like he talked about, Jennifer Grey and Ferris got together, had a relationship. They were in Ireland. They got in a very bad car accident and actually ended up killing the occupants of the other car.
Jesus.
True story.
It was a mother and a daughter. Is that what it was? I believe it was a mother and daughter. He was driving on the wrong side of the road because obviously
because he's an American.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
he went to take a turn.
And he thinks he owns everything.
So initially he was going to get, I think, like 5 years in prison and everything else, but he only ended up getting like I think it was like $150 fine or something like that. They let him off.
Jesus. This guy pulled a Minko.
Yes.
Well, no, I think
he was still getting out of stuff.
But I think he with that accident, I did read a little about that, but it was proven that he made a terrible mistake. Like
it wasn't like purposely.
He wasn't drinking. It wasn't anything involving any kind of foul play.
That's amazing. Yeah, I picked up what you put down there, Dave.
Right.
That he wasn't. He was basically Ferris Buellering it.
Right. He just got away with it.
Yeah.
And back to that Red Wings jersey I talked about. They said it was kind of like looking into the character that he was playing. He's a lovable loser down on his luck because the team was so bad at the time.
But didn't John Hughes do it to give a shout out because he's from Detroit?
It could be that too, but they were kind of saying it gave a little insight into the character that because that team was like basically doing horrible at the time. Kind of like a lovable loser.
Yeah, it's because that was a question about it because they were like, "Why are you from Chicago?" And he's wearing the Blackhawks jersey. It says, but Hughes was born in Michigan and decided to put Cameron in Detroit jersey to celebrate that.
Oh, okay.
And then the Mr. Hockey Man himself, Gordie Howe, sent one to him. He's like, hey, if you're going to use it in the film. And that was the whole thing. Sports Illustrated said something about it was nice seeing the number 9 on the big screen. But it was actually Gordie Howe's actual jersey.
Nice. Yeah, so you guys got anything else? I think that was pretty much it for me with fun facts. I don't know if I missed any that.
I think that's, I'm pretty sure that's everything.
I'm all fun fact out.
Fun fact out, yeah. So that was a good one. We appreciate you guys picking that out on the list. I guess next week will be either Weird Science is looking like or another, what's his name?
Chevy Chase?
Not Chevy Chase, Burt Reynolds. Another Burt, talking about Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit.
And there's also a third.
No.
Yeah, I know, right? So get out there and vote. But there's another one that kind of pushed its way up, and I think it's like a 3-way tie now.
He said 3-way.
3-way tie, yeah. So anyway, keep voting on those movies and adding them to the poll. It helps us out, gives us something to review, and let us know what you think. Over at Facebook, you can leave comments and all that. Don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement and on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. I guess that's it for now, so we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for listening to The Vintage Cinema Review in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We outie 5,000.